I feel the need for
tweed. It is true, I feel the need. It's cold out. Now I'm having a little bit warmer day, of course, when I film the show here in South Texas, but that's okay. It is cold enough to get away with this jacket right now, but most of us in the winter are looking for stylish yet timeless pieces that will keep us warm, but also add an interest and beauty to our winter and fall outfits. I'm going to talk about how tweed is made, where it comes from, and how to style it. But most importantly, it's already cold. I'm going to tell you how to get your hands on an authentic 100% wool tweed jacket right now for under $100. That's right, that's coming up later in the show. So before we get into how to style and what is the best way to wear tweed jackets, I want to talk about how tweed is made, because it is such an interesting, hard-wearing, intense, warm fabric like no other, I think, in tailoring for men. Now, of my tweed jacket collection, I chose to wear this one for the show because it looks a little different than what we associate tweed with normally, because I always, up until recent years, I would kind of associate the herringbone weave and look of a jacket, which I absolutely love herringbone for both jackets and shirts. I'd kind of, partner that with tweed. And there's a reason. It's pretty common. You see a lot of tweed jackets, unlike this one, that have that herringbone weave. But herringbone can come in many different weaves and patterns, which what makes it so awesome. Like this one, it's more of a bird's eye. But what you'll always see with tweed is a unique yarn look to it, right? How everything is woven together with different colors, what is called like a heathering look, right? Where you're taking, like it's very common in gray, right? You see heather gray shirts. It's not a solid gray, like even a t-shirt. It's heathered with another color yarn in the weave, which is typically white. As far as a typical jacket designed for tweed, you're going to see mostly a 2-buttons traditional sport coat, which is really the way to go because that is always going to be timeless. This gray one I'm wearing is a little unique. It is a 3-roll 2, which still shows as a 2-button, and you would only button the second button because in a 3-roll 2, that third button is actually rolled under the lapel. It's a cool little sartorial touch, and we'll get into that style when we talk about that particular jacket, which is the one I'm wearing. We'll look at the brown. You can see I'm wearing it with various colors. You can add a tie-in. I love turtlenecks with tweed, especially like your wool or cashmere turtlenecks. This one in the video is a Scottish cashmere turtleneck from Proper Cloth. I mean, this thing is so comfortable. And then in the colder weather, right, it keeps you really warm. You add an interesting tweed jacket with different color variations. Because the turtleneck is navy, it goes with so much. I think it looks fantastic. That's nice contrasting with the lighter sort of medium brown tone, right, a neutral tone of a jacket. But then you've got blue speckled in there, especially some navy with the herringbone. That really makes it an interesting combo in colder weather. Put it on before we move on from the brown jacket, this brown-based multicolor gem that I picked up. This is really, the fabric is just so much more interesting than I let on. That's why I want to put it on. It has so many different colors heathered into it, and that's that yarn nature on top of this just heavy woolen structure of tweed. Is you get these interesting classic pieces that go with just about anything. This is a tailor store shirt. If you know, and I'll link the review down below, my experience with tailor store, you'll know why I went with a button-down collar. The fit is great. This is, of course, you got like a gingham style in a navy and black, a real, winter, cold weather texture. It's long staple cotton. It's not that thick. It's not flannel. But look how it goes. And, of course, you can do this, it should in some regards, especially without a tie with tweed, is you add a pocket square. It doesn't have to match the shirt. This is just the one I grabbed. But look at the nature of this outfit. It really snaps. It really looks fantastic. I absolutely love all the different colors. It's such an interesting piece when you get into this style of herringbone tweed. Absolutely love it. I recommend it as maybe the first tweed jacket you pick up, and I'm going to talk a little bit more on how to get it later in the show. Now, taking a look at a different jacket that is obviously a different color and from a different manufacturer, this blue number from Harris, right? Harris Tweed is probably the world's most well-known tweed. And Harris provides tweed for multiple companies that make jackets and other clothing items in tweed for them. So Proper Cloth has used them. You go down the list, Harris is probably the most famous house for providing tweed in the world. and that's because they do a great job. I got this directly from their shop in Scotland. It's a little hard to order online. Even when you get past the tariffs, if you don't know your fit, it's difficult. So I'd recommend finding a Harris tweed jacket from an organization, a company that's going to help your returns if you need to size it a little better. If you do order a Harris tweed made jacket, they run a little small. So I went one size up and I went long. So I went a 44 long instead of a 42 or 44 regular. If you look at this jacket, notice all of the color variations in it. It's got navy and royal blue. It really pops. It is a hardy fabric. It is really warm and it is so classy looking, but I do think it lends itself to be paired more with denim or chinos because of, I think, the bright variation. I think the texture's a little fuzzier. If you get up closer, you can see as compared to the jacket I'm wearing, which we'll get into in a second, and of course the one I featured before, the more brown classic herringbone tweed, that has a little more matte and smooth texture, even for tweed, whereas this blue number from Harris is a rougher, more casual, hardy outdoor cold weather jacket. All right, the third and final jacket I want to talk about before I get to what might be the best deal on the planet for getting tweed right now for under $100. This one, a bit more than that. I got it as a suit separate. You could buy jackets separately. I don't love doing that because typically if I wear something like a blazer or sport coat, I want it to kind of have those style touches. This one does. So although I have pants that go with it, which will make for a really warm suit when I need it, this jacket, like I alluded to, has blazer sport coat features with the 3-roll button and the patch pockets. So it's crazy versatile in design as a notch lapel 2-button look, but also in the fabric color, right? So this is heathered, like so many gray textured fabrics and clothing items are, but it's bird's eye pattern in how they do it, which is really cool because it adds that dark nature in that speckled black yarn. So it makes the jacket more versatile because light gray can be a little tougher. This is an easy jacket like the other two. You can keep it by the front door. It's going to go with just about anything on the go. It's super warm and it is just a perfect piece. Even if you're starting with a jacket, gray for tweed is a wonderful place to start. Bonobos is easy to get jackets on sale. You can find something with Bonobos out of season for under $300 in a hardy blazer like this that's going to last you a lifetime if you take care of it. That's how I got this one. I bought this jacket, I bought the suit for under $500, which is a fantastic deal because Bonobos makes high quality stuff. I got it because I bought it out of season. That's one of my recommendations with tweed is to look for it ahead of time. Look for end of season sales from all of your favorite clothing providers. Brooks Brothers makes them. Proper Cloth will make tweed once in a while. All depends on what they're going for the season. They're a little bit tougher for end of season sales, but Bonobos is one of the best as an end of season when I've had this jacket sitting in the closet for 5 months. Now I get to wear it, but I got a killer deal, basically 50% off. So we've talked about 3 jackets so far, and I'm back in this one for a reason. If you noticed, I didn't mention who made it. We've got, of course, the gray number I just talked about, fabric from Moon Tweed, and of course it's a Bonobos jacket, and then direct from Harris Tweed, the blue number I showed you before. This is your most classic look in tweed jackets. I'd argue that with anybody. The herringbone brown base with darker brown herringbone weave is where it seems to have all started. One of the most classic looks, and it is timeless. Now, where did I get this? I got this on eBay, and this is the deal. If you want a herringbone tweed jacket right now, within a matter of days, it's always been such a popular fabric. It is so hardy and hard wearing and strong. Pieces from 20, 30, 40 years ago look almost brand new. Before you dive into tweed and spend a bunch of money, whereas I have now spent more on my tweed jacket collection, start at eBay. These pieces are going to be so well built to wear multiple layers underneath. There's so many guys. So many tweed jackets out there, and there are probably a few in your size. Be patient, but you could probably find something today under $100. The resale value is not that high because there's so much supply on eBay of tweed that who knows why it's being sold, but people change in size. What a lot of times happens as we get older and older, we get a bit smaller. These jackets hang on us. And let's be real, most older gentlemen don't have people in their family that, even if they are this size, don't have the sartorial awareness of how to, or the interest in wearing tweed, this is where to go. Go to eBay. Look around for it. I'll help you. Message down below. There are multiple sellers that are getting rid of tweed at fantastic prices, and most of them allow returns. This one fit me right off the rack, per se, out of the box. It's a 42 long. I do think tweed needs to fit a little bigger. I'm lucky that this is a larger 42. I go with long in most jackets because I want this to drape and be able to not just wear with a shirt, but I can easily get a sweater underneath this like I showed you with the turtleneck earlier. So drop your comments down below. Tell me if you feel the need for tweed, what you think about tweed, if you've tried it, if you've worn it for a long time, or if you're new and interested. I can make further recommendations in the comments. You can also email me at rob@primedude.com. I'm going to be featuring more details about my tweed experience on the website, primedude.com. It is such a fun fabric, guys. It's great for fall and winter. I highly recommend it. And please let me know what you think. Like I said before, always like, subscribe, turn your alerts on for the show. Thank you so much for your support. I hope you enjoyed this one. And as always, stay prime.